and welcome to the show.
Today is Wealth Wednesdays, and today we're going to be talking about why cash is trash and cash flow is king.
The queen.
Queen.
Because you know why? Not the king. I disagree. Grant Cardone says cash flow is king. I say queen. You know why? Because the queen, that bitch, she controls the king.
But what if the king's gay?
Well, then he got a bitch, but it's just a dude. And that's okay.
I feel like... Did you put stevia in my coffee today?
Nope.
Yep, I can taste it. But that's okay.
Oopsie.
If
did it wrong.
Okay. So, let's get right into it, shall we?
We shall.
So, in order for you to understand the concept, the first thing that you have to do is understand what the word actually means. So, let's begin by defining what is cash and what is cash flow. And by the way, if you have a notebook around you, then I recommend that you actually take some notes today, because we always give you thoughts to ponder on and actions to take so that you can actually make a positive impact on your life. Okay, and the intention and the objective behind today's episode is to teach you how to create positive cash flow. So a lot of you guys are probably like, what is cash flow? Because honestly, until about a year ago, we've never heard that word before. And I thought cash flow was like, wait, isn't cash flow like cash? Or cash flowing into my bank account?
Making money, making them dollars.
But it's different. And that's why it's important to understand the definition before we get into the context. So
I would like to know the definition of cash flow.
So cash is basically the amount of available money that you have on you. Right. So
does that include bank accounts?
Yeah.
Checking, savings?
So like whatever you have in your bank account, checking, savings, that's cash. It's either hardwired cash, available cash. Who even carries like money in their pocket nowadays? We do a little bit, but for the most part, no. So cash is the money that's available for you, whether it's sitting in your bank account.
It's readily available.
In your bank account, your desk, whatever. Okay, now cash flow, the definition of cash flow is actually a formula. And cash flow is income minus expenses.
Isn't that called net?
What?
Net income is your income minus your expenses. Income equals gross, minus expenses equals net. Grant calls it the cash flow.
Cash flow. Rob Kiyosaki calls it too.
So
cash flow is income minus expenses.
It's the amount of cash that's flowing in on a regular basis that you know isn't going to be leaving.
Net income. So for one, net income is different depending on which one of the four categories you are in, whether you're an employee, like a business owner or whatever. But net income is the income that you have, let's say by the end of the month, after like taxes or business expenses.
After you paid everything, anything and everything, no? Net? What did you net? What did you keep?
That's cash flow.
I'm learning things today.
That's cash flow. Look up what is net income.
I learn these things
so
on
like
these money conversations.
So like people who
every
receive
day.
paychecks, the difference between gross income and net income is that gross income is how much you receive before taxes. Net income is after taxes.
Also referred to as net profit, net earnings, or the bottom line. Is the amount an individual earns after subtracting taxes and other deductions from gross income For a business, net income is the amount of revenue left after subtracting all expenses, taxes, and costs.
Okay.
The bottom line, the bottom. So if I make $1 million in a year, but I had to spend, like I ended the year in a positive $300,000, that means I netted $300,000. Would that be, that's my cash flow, $300,000?
No.
Okay.
That means that you're cash flowing.
I'm positive.
Yes.
Cash flow
So
equals positive.
Cash flow, you guys should write it down. Cash flow equals income minus expenses. I don't care if, let's say you make $5,000 a month. If your expenses are higher than your income, then you're in negative cash flow, and that is not a good thing. The goal is to have positive cash flow at all times.
Truth.
However, for one, in order to have positive cash flow, we need to understand what is cash flow. And then the second thing that we have to do is we need to understand, okay, how do we get there? So this will be applied in a very different way for everybody, depending on which one of the 4 quadrants you're in. So there's 4 quadrants that you can belong to. Employee, small business owner, investor. For each one of these, there's a different tax law. There's a different way in which you acquire money on, or how frequently you acquire money, how educated you are. Our goal is whichever one of these 4 quadrants you're in. And by the way, if you can do us a huge favor and drop in the comments which one of the 4 quadrants you guys belong to, that would be amazing. So the 4 quadrants are employee. I feel
like we should have a whole episode on what the 4 quadrants would be. If you've read Robert Kiyosaki, like you understand what we're talking about, but I think that if you haven't, you're like, what are you saying?
Yeah, well, everybody knows whether they're an employee, a small business owner.
Hey, but have we not questioned?
Sure.
Would that be self-employed? Would that be business owner? Like there's a difference between a business owner and being self-employed. Self-employed means you own your job. Business owner means you lead a group of people who run the ship.
Yeah.
So there's like different, like, and I think if you just blurt them out and like da-da-da-da, and people haven't, they don't understand, and it might be confusing, but just stick with us. Stick with us. Most people are employees.
Most people are employees, and this is why this conversation is really important, you guys, because I feel like unless people are business owners, they don't make it a priority to study the science of money and the art of money. It is an art and a science.
Oh, I totally didn't when I was employed.
Neither did I. And even when we started our business, we didn't even know where to get the information from. And that's why, having come across Grant Cardone, we're extremely grateful, because he's an incredible teacher and he simplifies everything.
We actually started reading Kiyosaki first.
We started reading Kiyosaki first. We came across Grant Cardone, and nobody does it like Grant. But we have massive respect for both of them because they're both incredible teachers. And the problem is that in today's society as well, we're not taught the most important things in school. So the reason why we learn math is because we should have better control of our finances. However, we go all the way up to algebra and trigonometry. And by all means, I'm not saying like for anybody who wants to be like a math major and like create a formula that will change the world, I'm all for it. But for the most part, we have to think in terms of practicality, right? For a regular person who just wants to crush life, like, do we really need to know like trigonometry? Like, when did you use sine, cosine, and tangent? Whatever.
Google knows it.
I don't even remember any of that. And I took up to trigonometry 3 in college. And then I was like, you know what? Nothing makes sense anymore. F this.
I don't even know how to spell trigonometry.
But I wish that we learned math, like basic math skills, so that we'll be able to, by the time we get to 7th grade, like learn finances. So that we can understand terms like cash flow, so that by the time we have our own bank account, we're like, okay, every month I'm going to calculate what I'm cash flowing. Because here's the thing. If you don't understand terms, you don't understand concepts, and then you don't know what steps to take. So you feel stuck. So is it any wonder why, and these numbers are pre-COVID, that 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck? It's no wonder, because people don't even understand like the difference between cash and cash flow. Shit, we didn't even know what like a thing called cash flow existed until about a year ago. That's why when we started to like get into these things, we're like, wow, this is like literally life changing, because by understanding money concepts, you're able to get on the path of financial freedom, right? Just like if you don't know how to eat right, you're always going to eat shit and you're always going to be unhealthy. If you don't know how to train right, it doesn't matter how you train or how dedicated you are, you're never going to get anywhere. So that's the importance of really understanding this, and understanding money is really important, because guess what? In the world that we live in nowadays, everything revolves around money. Yeah, go for it.
I'm still confused on the terminology, but what I do know is that I want to make a lot of money, know how to keep it, and then learn how to multiply it. I don't think I need to know what those terms are called. I just need to know I need to do it. And that's because my brain thinks different. And I'm like, okay, if I can't grasp or understand like a definition of a word, I just need to know the how to apply to get the end result. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm like, cash flow, well, I don't care. I want to learn how to have the most amount of money coming in that isn't also going out.
Yes, like you have to understand the concept. You don't have to know the definition word for word. But it's like, for example, I remember when I just got introduced to CrossFit, and like, again, the 3 dudes that introduced me to it, they're like, clean and jerk, snatch, thruster. I'm like, squat, jerk, push, press. I'm like, huh? Like, when you don't understand what a word means, you're not sure how to execute it. I didn't know what a push press was, therefore I didn't know how to do the workout.
But you could watch somebody do it, and you could do it not knowing what it's called.
You could, but it's not sustainable. Over time,
sure.
Right. Sure. And basically, I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong, but when you are familiar with a term, you have an easier understanding of how to take action with regards to it.
You know what I think is the ticket?
What?
The more time you spend in the world of this topic, the more you learn. Yes. You go to a new gym, let's say it's a CrossFit gym, you don't know shit, and you go and you start doing things, but you're like, okay, I go like 5 days a week, eventually you're gonna learn what the names of things are. You're gonna be doing this movement, and then you're gonna hear people attach a word to that movement or a name to that movement. You're like, oh, that's what that's called. But you only learn that by being in it.
Yep.
You gotta be in it.
Always. You become who you surround yourself with, you guys. And that is the concept of the show, because we want to help you to achieve freedom in all aspects of life. Because otherwise, you're stressed out. I don't care if you have a 6-pack, if you're financially stressed every single month, your cortisol levels are going to go up. Your abs are not going to be sustainable. And besides, what's the point of living life if you're always limited? At least that is something that I stand for. I believe that we're in here for a temporary amount of time, so we all better make sure that we make the most of it and live our best life. But that is we have to take responsibility for how we act and how we show up every day, whether it's with regards to, how much sleep we're getting, what do we do before we go to bed, what foods are we putting in our body, what movements do we do and whether we move or not, and also like the responsibility that we take with regards to the means that runs the world, which is money.
I thought Beyonce said, girls run the world.
True.
Who run the world?
Girls.
Who run the world?
But don't we all agree that if women knew money better, they will be able to run the world better? I mean, duh. One of our friends and mentors says that God is a woman, and I love that. And he's a dude, by the way. Okay, so cash flow means income minus expenses. Cash is basically the amount of money that you have available to you. It has nothing to do with cash flow. So the goal is to be positive cash flow, because if not, then you owe more money than you actually have, and that is not sustainable.
Andy Lee.
What?
She hashtagged my I'm 12.
Oh.
A thank you.
So knowing what cash flow is and knowing that the goal is to be positive cash flow. Now, you all can have different set of specific goals with regards to your own personal life goals and what it is that you want to achieve, what your monthly cash flow is. That is now an individual basis. Everybody's goal should be to be positive cash flow. If you're negative cash flow, then that is no bueno. Because as Warren Buffett said, rule number 1 is don't lose money.
Don't go neggy.
Yeah. If you go a neggy, then you're losing money and you're disobeying rule number 1, which means that, hey, you can't even play the game if you're not even obeying rule number 1. By the way, obeying rules, discipline. See how you treat yourself trickles down to other areas of your life. If you're undisciplined with how you move and how you eat, there's no way in hell you're going to be disciplined with regards to how you spend money. Because money nowadays, you don't see it. That shit is all electronic. It's a game of discipline, you guys. So you have to gain control. And how do you gain control? You look at your balance sheet. So I would recommend look at last month's balance sheet. What was my total income and what were my total expenses? Remember, the goal is to be positive in cash flow. So add them both up. Okay, income, this is how much I made. And then expenses, this is how much went out. Add that up and see where you are. And by the way, because we are entrepreneurs, I want to share with you a personal thought. Sometimes in life, you can make calculated decisions where you negative cash flow if you know that it will help you to get ahead. And, you know, if you want to learn more about this, then you should listen back to our episode of investments versus expenses. Not all expenses are
spending versus investing.
Yeah, spending versus investing.
Or wasting versus investing.
Yeah, not all expenses are created equal. And sometimes you might have to bend the rules in order to move yourself forward. And we've had to do it plenty of times. But you always have to hold yourself accountable, because if you don't hold yourself accountable, you lose control.
Some rules are flexible and they're called guidelines.
Yeah.
But I say there's always two sides to every coin, or it's a dumb coin.
Yeah. So you can get to make the rules and you can bend them every once in a while. Like Grant always says, invest in you in order to change your life. You have to invest in you. If you stay in a box, and he says it, like if somebody says, oh, you know, $200 is gonna put me in debt. Like if you have a $200 problem, then there's no way in hell you're gonna get yourself to $200,000 or to $2 million. Because in order, you guys, it's a game of increments. In order to move up the next step up the ladder, the game changes a little bit. But that's why understanding the fundamentals is so important, because if you have a hard time investing in yourself, let's say, the raw transformation, $197 a month, there's no way in hell you're going to be able to, let's say, invest in a house that you want to rent out so that it can cash flow $200,000 because you're scared. So again, it's all like a mental concept, and that's why these conversations, in my opinion, are so important, because I wish that I had these conversations to listen to like 10 years ago.
I don't know if I actually said it on this show before, or if I just said it inside my head or to you, but it does not take money to make money. It takes money to make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And this is the problem. So if you want a solution, you need to figure out what is the solution to the problem. The problems, people think, I don't know what to do to make money. The real problem is you're not willing to hustle hard enough and get outside your comfort zone to figure that shit out. I mean, if I sat down, if we all brainstormed different ways of making money relatively quickly, it all will have to do with trading your time. And now a lot of people say they don't have time. I wonder how much time those people spend on TikTok. That shit will suck you in. Or doing things on the weekend, having me time. If you're broke, you don't get to have me time as often as you'd like.
Yeah.
It's necessary, but sometimes you just gotta hustle. Mm-hmm. We hustled for so long. We still do. We still hustle. I think you guys recognize it. But just now more people see the hustle. But we were hustling when nobody gave a shit about who we were or what we had to offer. And we kept hustling. Mm-hmm. And we would go literally like knocking on people's doors trying to find clients and get people to believe that like we can help them. And most people aren't willing to do that. That is the real problem.
That's courage. We literally drove around, like in our car. You saw our car.
Busted ass car.
Throughout entire San Diego, with GPS, CrossFit gyms, and we're like, hey, Can we
do a seminar with 4 people in attendance?
Yeah, we want to host a workshop. And we would literally, and I think we gave out flyers too.
There'd be like one day we went to like 9 different gyms, just like all over San Diego. We're like, have a map. We're literally going, hey, we're Erin and Sarit. Like nobody cares who we are, but like we want to do this thing for free. And we would like hope to get clients out of it. That was just one of our methods.
And I remember also online, we reached out to 300 people. We got like 8 people to respond to us and only 3 gyms were like, yeah, do it. It's fucking crazy, you guys. Everything that you want in life is going to be 10 times harder and it's going to take you 10 times longer. So you have to expect that.
Yeah. And we still hustle. It just looks different now. And because now we're in a different financial position, we can use money to make more money.
Yeah.
So, but it takes
courage.
It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of time. But you have to want it. And we want it. We want it. We wanted it then. We want it just as bad now. But it's just a matter of like, people say, oh, I want to make more money. They're like, oh, there's no more hours at work. Then go find something else to do. There's no more hours at work.
Where you don't have to go to work.
Oh, I have kids. Figure out how to bring them with you. I can't afford a babysitter. Then figure out how to do something where you can have your kids with you. There's always a solution to a problem. You just have to be open-minded enough to say, how can I make this work? Not, I can't make it work. There's always something. The problem is that most people are little bitches.
Everything is figure-outable, as Marie Forleo said. It's true. You just have to be open-minded and you have to be committed. And when you're committed, you will figure out a way. You will make that shit happen.
Can I continue? Because I said something that would sound really harsh to some people. But what I mean is that most people would rather find an excuse than a solution. Mm-hmm. And some people truly in their minds don't believe that there is a solution. And so I want to be here to encourage you to open your mind, to find a solution, to say, what could I possibly do? If you don't know, then who can I reach out to that can help me find a solution? Because everybody's brains are wired differently. Now, at the end of the day, no matter what, if you want something, you will do what it takes. Otherwise, you simply do not want it. Don't say you want it. You may think that you want it, but you're living in, oh, that would be nice land. Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be nice. And I think about people who live these like luxurious looking lives with a lot of financial success and all this stuff. And then people will say, oh, wouldn't it be nice to fly on a private jet? Yeah, it fucking would. But I guarantee you they fucking earned it. I guarantee you they busted their asses more than you would ever be willing to.
Yep.
I guarantee you they hustled when nobody gave a shit. I guarantee you they kept working even when they felt broken down, beat up, busted, criticized, and they kept going. They deserve to be on that jet. Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah, sure as hell would. Don't live in it would be nice land. Live in how can I fucking get it land.
Yeah. So
I got really hot. If I offended anybody, it's probably because some of that's about you.
You guys, we get really passionate because we stand for you being successful. And this is what I tell everybody, and this is what I tell my students too. Like, I will do everything that I can in order to help you to succeed, but I can't want you to succeed more than you can want it. And there's only one way to do it. You gotta show it. Like, actions speak louder than words every day. I don't care what you say. Just fucking show me. Mm-hmm. When you show me, that's when you start to impress
Show me, homie.
And not for a week and not for 12 weeks either. Show me for like a year. Because like 1 week, it's like, no, it's just like dating, right? Like the first week, it's like you go out on a date all the time. You have sex every day. After 12 weeks, it's like life starts happening and, you know, like you make it a priority. After 1 year, it's like you've made it a habit. Like, show me how you live your life regardless of what's going on. Not just when things are good. When things are good is something that it's a concept that we create.
Things are good one day out of 15.
Yeah. Yeah. So
unless you think.
So
to find
Kirsty Hopewood, I need you to check your Voxer. Speaking of which.
Is it Hopewood or Hopwood?
I don't know.
There's no E. But then again, I called Cassie.
We love you guys anyways.
You know what we mean.
So
there's a lot of names flying through here.
So to gain control over cash flow, you want to take a look at your balance sheet, highlight your expenses, add them up, add up whatever your income resources are, add that up, and start with minusing expenses from income and see what you get. Goal number 1, Hopewood. I apologize for Hopwood.
Hop.
I'm not
Hop.
Hopwood.
Hope. Okay.
Sorry.
I am not
I know
even
you're laughing
the spelling
right now.
champion, but
I know you're laughing right now. But goal number 1 is to be positive in cash flow.
First positive in your mind, then positive in your cash.
You have to commit to be positive. And remember, sometimes in life, if opportunities come at you, don't be so stringent on, I have to be positive in cash flow. Therefore, I'm not going to take on this great life opportunity.
But you do have to differentiate what is an opportunity and what is some shit that I just feel like having.
Right. But so you have to hold yourself accountable and you have to have high standards. And the way in which you do that is you ask, 6 months from now, how is this going to serve me? If it's a pair of shoes, that shit ain't going to serve you. That shit ends up in your closet.
Or the garbage.
But if it's a course or a program that's going to allow you to either add more skills or change your life, see how you feel about yourself so you can change your life, then okay. Now we're talking. Feel free to bend the rules. We give you permission because we've done that even when we're like,
shit.
The money is not there. The money is not there. How are we going to do it? The universe delivers when you commit. Every single time. Every single time. It's a symbol of commitment. So
cut the fat. Cut the fat out.
Right. So after you do that, then you're able to understand, okay, well, where am I at? Am I positive or am I negative? So the goal is to be as positive as you can be. However, each and every one of you guys, and that's why most people in life, right? 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, are getting by because no.
Hold on.
Okay, we should be good now. But these are the conversations that will change your life. Guaranteed. We see our life unfolding day by day and it's so humbling and we're so happy and grateful, but we see the need for more of that because you know what? Like, we needed that shit. And once you start getting the tools and if you're committed and implementing those steps, your life will be changed. So see where you're at with your current cash flow. Okay. The next thing that you have to do is you have to set a goal. What do I actually want to cash flow? And your goal will always be connected to your why. What are you trying to achieve from it? If you don't have life goals, then I guarantee you that you don't have a cash flow goal. And you just cruise by life. I just want to be happy.
Or you have a cash flow goal with no attachment to it, so it's going to be more difficult to achieve.
Yeah.
Can I also say too, we're by no means hating on somebody. Money's a funny thing. We think, oh, if we don't have a lot of money, we're a lesser of a person, which is not the truth. It just means there is less money. That doesn't mean you hold less value as an individual or a human being. But we also had an episode where we talked about being broke versus being poor.
It's a mindset.
And when you're broke, it means you just don't have money. When you're poor, you believe to be poor. You have a scarcity mindset. You don't believe you're going to have money. You believe money's difficult to make. You believe that you're always going to have more going out than going in and that you're going to be struggling. And this is the game of money, is that it's hard. And your mindset will keep you poor. You're poor is up here. When you're broke, you just don't have the dinero.
It's just in this very moment. It's like you stepping on the scale and you being 200 pounds. That has nothing to do with how you're going to be next year. But it will be dictated based off of how you're open-minded, your level of commitment, and your mindset. And Crystal Catalina, I've had that conversation with you. And I told you, I see it in you because I see your mindset. That's all I need to see with someone.
How can I?
It's not about what you have in your bank account. It's about what you see and how you show up. Because that is what will dictate where you'll be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and 20 years from now. Now, the problem with money is that most of you guys are listening to money advice from people who are broke and who have a poor mindset. So, of course, you are that too. You become who you surround yourself with. And that's why we're doing this show, because otherwise we'll be disservicing you. Because here's the thing. Money doesn't buy you happiness, but like Sam Bakhtiar said, like, nobody's happy when they get an eviction notice.
You're not happy when you have to look at how many more cents am I saving on this bag of lettuce versus that bag of lettuce.
It's financial stress. You're not happy if you want to send your kid to the best school ever and you can't. Like, that is not you living your best life. You're not happy if you want to, take an amazing opportunity and you can't. You're limited. You're limited, and that creates stress. And for one, stress affects your health. And for two, like, life is too short.
I guarantee you, every single person, if you said, hey, if I gave you $5,000 so you could go take a vacation, do you think that would make you happy or sad? Money creates opportunities for increased moments of happiness and joy and fulfillment via memories and experiences and world knowledge. But money, if the core of who you are isn't a positive person in general, if your mindset is off to where, regardless of how much money you have, like, you're going to spend it on things that make you happy in the short, but then immediately afterwards, kind of like binging. If you are an unhappy individual before you get money, right? You look for money, you're like, okay, this is going to make me happy. And that's what I say, money can't buy you happiness as a person. But it's kind of like binge eating. It's like, oh, this food, this eating is going to make me happy for a second, and then I'm going to be sad and depressed. Well, money can create a sense of happiness in a moment, but if you are already a happy person, after that moment of happiness, you've purchased yourself, you're going to continue to be happy afterwards.
Yep.
Money magnifies, we've said before too. So if you get more money and you're unhappy, you're going to be more unhappy. That's where more money, more problems comes from. Everybody has the same problems, but when you have money, they're magnified. It's just bigger dollars, it's bigger numbers. It's like, oh no, I made an investment and I lost $10 versus, oh no, I made an investment and I lost 10 million. But when you have 100 million and you lose 10 million, it's the same exact thing as when you have 1,000 and you lose $10. No? More money, more problems when you're not already happy.
But when you have, but when you generate for yourself more money, you're a better problem solver. So you look at problems in a different way. Again, it's all mindset. So what do you do? Again, when you look at your balance sheet, goal number one is to be positive. If you're in negative cash flow, then hey, like, let's get you out of that, because you're already disobeying rule number one.
By cutting things out that are absolutely not necessary.
So there's two ways in order to increase the positive and to lower the negative. For one, you got to cut the fat. Like, again, when you want to create change, the first thing that you have to do is you got to make a sacrifice. So you got to sacrifice, like, the subscriptions, the boxes, all the things that are not helping you to move your life forward. And there's no buts, ifs, and maybes. If you're negative cash flow, what you need to do is you need to cut everything in life that you don't need. When I say need, I mean survival mode. You need to be on survival mode.
Like, you gotta eat.
You shouldn't be treating yourself if you can't cover the basics.
You don't need to go get a drink with your homie.
No.
Oh, but I'll buy it from the liquor store. It's cheaper. You still don't. Yeah. Mm-mm. We were just talking about last night how we didn't go out to eat for like a year. We did not go out to eat for like a year.
No, because that's a luxury. And we didn't know what to expect. Therefore, we had to make a sacrifice. Sorry, babe, not going out to eat. And that's why it's important to be in a supportive system. Because imagine if she wasn't supportive. Oh my gosh, you don't love me.
We never go out to eat. Why don't you love me?
Why don't you take me out on date nights? Am I not important to you anymore? We've got a world to change.
That's the importance of having a supportive. If you have a significant other, that they are supportive, significantly.
Yes. Yes. And actions speak louder than words. So the first thing that you have to do is you need to cut the fat. Like, get whatever it is that you don't need, cut it out. Cut it out. It's not serving you.
And ask yourself, do I really need this? If I didn't have this thing, how negatively impacted would my life be?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've said that before, and then I immediately think about like the people who don't have shoes. They're still alive. They're still living. You look like a freak if you go into the grocery store with no shoes on, but that doesn't mean you're going to die. Actually, some people say no shoes, no shirt, no service, which is really rude, because what if you don't have shoes? You're going to deny somebody money because they ain't got no shoes? Rude. I'll take your money if you don't have any shoes.
But we'll try to help you.
But the point of that is there are things we think we need that we really don't.
Rate it on a scale of 1 to 5.
They make things convenient for us. They make things comfortable for us. But if you haven't learned anything about any of the shows that we do, is that the best things that you can achieve in life do not come from being comfortable. Mm-hmm. So don't mistake or confuse something that makes you comfortable or is convenient for something that you need.
If you're not positively cash flowing, and even if you are, like, convenience and comfort, like, that shouldn't even be in your vocabulary right now. The only thing that needs to be in your vocabulary is whatever it takes. And here's the problem with America. People don't know what's coming and what's going, and everybody wants to be comfortable. Right? Like, everybody wants, like, everything now. Like, do you realize, like, the fucked up mindset that it creates? Like, no, bitch, if you want freedom, like, comfort should not even be in your vocabulary.
Did you see Daisy's comment?
No.
Me sitting over here like, I'm not building a skating rink in my basement. And then I saw also...
It's an investment, dude. It's an investment.
I think it also was... Emily Wolf said, okay, I'm positive $47. And then somebody else goes, at least it's not neggy.
Yeah, look, so for one, if you're positive, like, you're one step ahead. Because, man, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of you guys over the last couple of weeks, and, you know, every time I had a conversation, what you guys need most is financial education.
Me too.
Most.
More.
Like, this community, like, you guys, like, I love your heart and I love what you're about, but I'm like, dude, like, you've got issues and we need to help you, and I want to help you, but please know that I also want you to help yourself. And it makes me sad that money conversations still have the least amount of people. Here's why. Because you guys are influenced by the wrong people.
Most people struggle and they live paycheck to paycheck. I was there as well. It's a terrible place to be. I paid off my student loans. What was it, last week or the week before?
Yes, amazing.
I completely finished. I said, fuck it, it's gone. Like, there's no interest right now. I was like, it's going away, all of it. No more of this, $200 a month. Like, I just took it out. And I got really emotional.
Yes.
I got really emotional because I have always struggled. $20 here, it's a big deal. $15 there, $100, no way. Oh my God, like, I only have I only have $257 in my bank account, and like, you know, adding up everything where it's like, okay, if I want to go grocery shopping, like it's either got to go on a credit card or it's like, you know, I've got to count every penny, and it's like such a stressful, hard place to be. And I believe you guys are here because you don't want to be average. You don't want to be most people. Most girls. I don't want to be like most girls. I don't want y'all to be like most people. And that, yeah, Tammy and all them southern homies are saying, she said y'all. You got me. It's in my vocabulary now. But what I'm saying is, because I can see Sarit saying, get on with yourself, is that we want you guys to be successful in every way possible. Mm-hmm. So please keep showing up. I will do our best to continue helping you with how to increase your financial education, be more disciplined with your finances, learn how to become positive in your end number, whatever it's called, and then how to get more of it, and then learn how to make that money make more money for you.
Mm-hmm. I want to say congratulations to two people. Steph Durate, for being positive cash flow, $391 per month. That's awesome. That shit compounds. That's like $5,000 a year. Congratulations. Now let's get that to be even more positive. And for you, Beth, you're light on funds, but here's the thing: because you signed up for the Rise on investment, you're increasing your value. This is an investment. An investment helps you to increase your value. So it's going to help you with that indirectly. And I want to say something for a lot of you guys, especially those who've been struggling with weight loss for like decades. I can tell you that your weight loss problem can be indirectly correlated to your money mindset. Because you're in financial fear, scarcity mindset, you have low self-worth. That's the identity that you attach to yourself. Now, if you want to have a badass body, you got to have an extremely high self-worth. But if every single time, like let's say you get notices, blah, 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 credit card gets declined, your identity is, I'm not worth it. So you keep on fucking up every single time. And that's why these conversations are so important. Do you want me to share with them the video?
Sure. Turn the volume.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just double checking.
Okay. Double checking what?
I paid off all my student loans.
Congratulations.
They're gone. Student loans that I had from 2008. Damn.
Big milestone. Congratulations. Yeah. So we got to cut the crap. Live based off of what you need. That's one. And for two, you need to increase your income. And what's beautiful about the internet era is that now there's so many different ways in which you can do that. Like you don't necessarily have to go apply, to drive your car 30 minutes, to go to an office, to sit down. Like you can even do it from the comfort of your home.
Go on hiremymom.com and be somebody's virtual assistant.
Join Team XND if you believe in that shit. Team XND, like honestly, that shit came to us as a blessing, and it's gonna be
It's
a
huge.
blessing for so many people. And I don't think people realize it. I know that like a year and a half ago, I know it came to us for a reason, especially with the timing. Like you're gonna have to hustle for it, but you guys,
but it's
when
again,
you
it's that thing. Look, if you're on Team XND right now and you have the opportunity to sell it, that's a perfect place for you to start. But going back to what I was saying before, you have to hustle. People are like, oh my gosh, thank you guys also for the kind words and the congratulations on that. It was a really big deal. But honestly, like no matter what it is, you have to hustle and you have to know that it doesn't come easy. But if you keep grinding and you keep working at it and you keep developing a plan and setting goals and, hitting targets, you're going to get there. But we've been doing Team XND for over 2 years. Last month, we made like $2,000. People are like, oh my gosh, you make $2,000 a month. Oh, that's awesome. Not knowing everything that we had to do and the time that it took to get to that place. So if you understand that from the beginning and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. It's one step at a time. It's one day at a time. It's one conversation at a time. And I can do it. People look at, people who are in like multi-level marketing companies or whatever. If you want to have a bad taste in your mouth about it, that's fine. We know our integrity. But at the same time, they look and they're like, oh my God, you're making $50,000 a month. Oh my God, you're making $20,000 a month. I would love that. That would be nice.
You would love to receive it, but what would you sacrifice to get there?
That would be nice. But you have to hustle. You have to talk to people. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to ask. You have to give. You have to give your time. You have to give your energy. You have to give for free. You have to give samples so people can try it. You have to give. We give so many things away from X Endurance. It costs us, but in the long run, it returns to us. And you have to understand that mindset too. Is like something that you want a return from is going to cost you something. Mm-hmm. And a lot of some things in the beginning, because imagine trying to push a bus from a dead stop and how much energy it takes to get it going. I think Erin Sarit was talking about the same analogy.
Yeah.
But once it's going, there's momentum. It's not as hard to push. But it requires a lot of force and effort in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it's important to, when you're doing this exercise, this cash flow exercise, and you face the truth.
The snore monster.
Oh my gosh. And you face the truth, you have to set a goal, and your goal is always attached to your why. Because in order for you to incrementally make progress, it's always incremental. You're not just going to go up. Don't ever think that. Not in weight loss, not with money. It's all sacrifice, a little bit forward. Sacrifice, a little bit forward. Sacrifice, maybe stay there for quite some time, and then I'm going to go up a little bit. But again, it's all mindset, because people are seeking comfort and people are seeking instant gratification. Nothing with regards to that is going to change overnight. So, and
not every line of work is for every person.
Right.
But I see people saying like, I don't do MLM. That's okay. A lot of people honestly have a bad taste in their mouth from MLMs, and I don't blame them. I did for a long time. I said, I need to do MLM, because if you look at it from a business perspective, the business model is genius, because you sign up, the people above you or connected to you are getting benefit from you. You are getting benefit from every single person who's somehow connected to you. You're motivated to help them succeed because it helps you succeed. And that is beautiful synchronicity.
Yep.
That is beautiful.
Yep.
Being motivated to help other people because it helps you too. Now, I had never actually signed up for one because I simply didn't believe in what they were selling.
MLM is multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing. And some people call it a pyramid scheme. A scheme is a scheme. A pyramid is a pyramid. A scheme is trickery and you're doing bad things. A pyramid is a pyramid. And if you think of any business, it is a pyramid. You have an owner, you have CEOs, COOs, CFOs, you have managers, you have employees. It is a pyramid. All of them are pyramids. Mm-hmm. So, but MLM is not for everybody in a sense that that's not how you operate. You're like, no, I'm really shy. Like, I'd rather like not. I mean, no matter what, if you want to be successful financially, you have to have conversations with people. There's no way around that. But not everybody's brain operates in that way, and that's not the method in which everybody wants to use, and I understand that. That's okay. Also, I would say if you're going to do an MLM, believe in the product you're selling. Don't just sell some shit to make some money.
And also, you know, I feel like a lot of people may have a bad taste in their mouth because here's the thing. I believe that by the end of the day, everything rises and falls on leadership. And I mean, that's how Advocare, like, that's why all of Advocare's people came to X Endurance. Like, the leadership was terrible.
It crumbled,
right? Everything rises and falls on leadership. Now, when it comes to MLM, like, if you join an MLM group, your potential can be great if you're ready to hustle, if you're ready to get outside of your comfort zone. And again, it's the concept of mentorship. You want to be better at life, you need mentorship. And that's why MLM is amazing, because the people above you are, if you're above the right people, right, they will mentor you. Like free mentorship, free business mentorship. You guys, people pay anywhere between $20,000 to millions of dollars for business mentorship. And in MLM, if you get into a good MLM group and you have a good leader above you, you get that shit for free.
Mentorship. Actually, this is not supposed to be X Endurance, like Team XND sales pitch. But if you're thinking about it, like you pay $95
to start a business.
You pay $95 to start a business.
It's nothing. It's crazy.
And not just that, X Endurance has actually created an opportunity for you to pay that $95, even if you don't feel like starting a business, just to get the benefits, just to get the discounts and the free shipping and the discounts on their partner perks. So if you think about like paying $95 for to start a business and to get free mentorship, the problem is that when things are free or they don't have to invest a lot in them, there's not as much value to it, so you don't utilize it. If you guys want to know how to get like free mentorship, if you're on Team XND, several of you have reached out, and yes, I'm gonna start mentoring you guys and teaching you guys, where do I look, what do I do, let's set some goals, let's set some targets, and let's figure out how to make this work. But I'm gonna say, until I'm blue in the face, you have to hustle. And if you want to make excuses, you're not going to succeed. If you take tools that somebody gives you and you say, but this, but that, but that, but that, you're never going to succeed. No matter what it is. So this is not a pitch on that, but if you're interested in that, I would be disservicing you not to reach out to me. But, you know, there's several opportunities everywhere. It's just a matter of opening your eyes, opening your mind, and being willing to sacrifice and hustle for an extended period of time. Without getting paid maybe for a while for it.
By the end of the day, whether it's, you know, X Endurance, whatever, you know, going back to the concept of cash flow. In order to improve your money game, you have to take responsibility. And I think because so many people are in a rut, because so many people are led by our parents when it comes to money. Most of what we know about money, the perception we have about it, is dictated by our parents. We love them, but guess what? They don't know shit because they were not educated and they have a scarcity mindset. Most parents.
But that's also why the average is middle class.
And that's why I really, like, you guys should all read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because it's a beautiful description of, it's a book about life, really, is what this is all about. Like, it opens your mind to how misled you've been for so long and how there's an opportunity to change it. But, you know, being surrounded in the right environment is really what you need. You have to immerse yourself in that shit. But in order for you to increase your cash flow game, You have to have courage to face the truth. And by the way, if you are going to do this exercise, do me a favor, please. Make a post about it on the Facebook wall. I want to see who are the courageous people. Who are our courageous people who are like, I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to own my shit regardless of what it takes. Guess what? Money and weight loss is the same. If you're overweight, if you've got medical issues, you are in health debt. Your body composition is in debt. It's literally the same thing. If you've got a six-pack, then guess what? Then your body is an asset. It's giving you value back. It's adding your net to your net worth. But money is the same thing, both of which require responsibility. You got to face the truth.
Yeah, and you'll notice, like, Crystal just posted the Erin and Sarit Team XND page, Facebook page, and several of you probably don't even know about it. And the reason is because we're not going to force it on you. And I want that to be a testimony of the good side of MLM from good leadership.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be sold. Nobody wants something to be forced on them. If the opportunity arises that is very genuine and authentic, like right now, of course we're going to bring it up. And now is a great time for us to post that page for the people who are interested. If you're not interested, that's okay. No hard feelings at all. But for those of you who are, understand, like, we're here to help, not try to force you to do anything. Forcing somebody to do something doesn't get anybody anywhere. Try to force your kid to go brush their teeth, like, it's a hot mess. Because they don't want to do it, and you don't want to be forcing them to do it. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of them started reading Rich Dad Poor Dad because on the call for the transformation on Monday, you held the book up to the screen and you said, everybody needs this book. So a lot of them were like, we started it last night. I just got it yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you guys. Man, I came across it when? I think it was last year.
I'm actually thinking
mine was blown since then. Like, ever since then, like, it opened up my mind to the world of money. And by the way, how incredible and simple it is. And our goal is to teach you all of the tools in the in the simplest way possible. And shame on us if we don't. And that's why we're Grant Cardone licensees. Because Grant has so much beautiful information and nobody produces like him. He is a fucking beast.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
We gotta roll.
We're gonna close it up. I just want to say one more thing. I saw that some of you guys have posted, and I want to call you out with love, and I want to share with you feedback because truthfully I want to help you. You said, can somebody contact me with regards to financial advice? Here's the thing. If you want help, you have to take the first step. Nobody is going to come to you. So if you want help, please email admin@improveyournutrition.com. And Ashley will forward me the email and we will get you started on the first step. And here's why I'm telling you that. Because if you want to get better at something in life, you have to take ownership. And if you're expecting it to show up in your doorstep, then that's lesson number one. Don't expect it to come to you. Go out and get it. Yeah. But if you have questions and if you're like, this is not like Team XND related, just like, I need some help brainstorming, absolutely. Like, we're happy to help. Just email admin@improveyournutrition.com, but please don't expect us to come to you with that. You need to come to us with questions.
The reason for that too is we want to know your willingness to hustle.
Yeah.
And if you're like,
do
it for me, like, you're not going to succeed regardless of how much we do for you anyways. So you're not going to make it. It's a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah.
So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the show. If you liked anything that we had to say, please share, please subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on podcast, please go and leave a review on whatever platform this is, if it's iTunes or Spotify or wherever we're at. Those reviews go a really long way and we really appreciate it. We do this for free for you guys. All we ask in return is that you share the love.
Yes. Share it so that we can help more people. Not just 39 people, though we're grateful for that. But 390 people.
Yep.
You all
All right,
need
guys.
help, and we're here to help.
Thank you guys for being here. We love you, and we will see you mañana.
Bye.